cliche, don't judge a book by its cover, fits perfectly with Konami's MLB Bobblehead Pros. At first glance, most baseball video game sim purists would probably laugh at what looks like an arcadey MLB game catered to kids, but this game is far from it. Similar to the successful MLB Power Pros series, MLB Bobblehead Pros is a pure baseball simulation with simplified graphics and controls. As you might have guessed, all the characters in MLB Bobblehead Pros are in fact bobbleheads, including the players and the crowd. You won't find super realistic player models, complex lighting, or any of the other little details found in other MLB titles. Instead, MLB Bobblehead Pros consists of bobblehead sprites with a head, body, hands, feet, and of course jerseys of their respective ball clubs. Players are essentially cartoon versions of their real-life counterparts, and although the player models are simplistic in nature, the overall graphical style works. The constant bobbling of every player can get annoying, but the option can be turned off. From an animation standpoint, batters mimic the stances of MLB players, and pitchers pitch like their real-life counterparts. You also find several strikeout variations, jumps, dives, slides, and throws throughout a game. All 30 MLB stadiums are in MLB Bobblehead Pros and recreated in cartoon-like fashion, but it's done well. Although scaled down to fit the game's simplistic style, you'll still find practically every landmark found in each park, from the Coca-Cola structure at AT&T Park to the Green Monster at Fenway Park. Weather variety is also present, as you'll encounter all sorts of conditions from game to game, including rain. Sometimes simple is better when it comes to video games, and in this case, the graphical look of MLB Bobblehead Pros simply works. I was pleasantly surprised by the subtle presentation aspects in MLB Bobblehead Pros. Different camera angles are used throughout each game, whether it's zooming in on a great catch, a close play at first, or a huge hit or walk-off home run. You can also switch the pitcher-batter camera as well as the fielding camera. Cutscenes are scattered in between innings and during substitutions, which is a nice touch. However, MLB Bobblehead Pros doesn't have an in-game broadcast team. Instead, a PA announcer fills the dead air with batter introductions and random banter between innings. A generic voice also calls balls and strikes, but not much else is there in terms of mimicking a real-life MLB broadcast. With simplistic controls that still pose a challenge, MLB Bobblehead Pros shines in the gameplay department. Throwing strikes and hitting the ball are a matter of timing and location. Pitching involves picking a location to aim your pitch in the strike zone, picking a pitch type with the left stick, and pressing a button. The pitching cursor is visible to the batter as long as it's moving, but as soon as a pitch is thrown, it disappears. Batting is done by lining up a bat icon where the pitch ends up and pressing a button. Sounds simple, but there's an extra layer of strategy. You can switch between a large bat indicator in the strike zone or a smaller, powered-up version. It's harder to hit the ball with the smaller power icon, but you are usually rewarded with a hit if successful. In a situation more in doubt, leaving the larger, weaker bat indicator is a safer bet. Running and stealing are also assigned to the face buttons, with each button representing a base. For fielding, throwing is designated to the face buttons, while diving and jumping for balls are done with the face buttons as well. Cutoff throws can also be done with the shoulder button, and you can even adjust your infield and outfield to prepare for a specific situation. The only issue I had with the fielding controls is dives and throws being mapped to the face buttons. There were several instances where I wanted to grab the ball and throw to a base, but instead ended up diving for the ball. It's a timing issue more than anything, but I was able to adjust after a few games. Overall, the controls are a really simple system and takes a lot of the guesswork out of baseball, while still presenting a challenge to the end user. Fans of MLB Power Pros expecting a straight-up port in terms of features in MLB Bobblehead Pros will be slightly disappointed. There's still a 162-game season in place, online play, and co-op modes, but fans of the MLB Live mode in Power Pros won't find a similar mode in MLB Bobblehead Pros. However, 2 DLC packages will be available, including a Midsummer Classic pack scheduled for release this month and a Home Run Derby mode later this year. Once you get past the over-the-top cartoon facade, you'll soon realize that MLB Bobblehead Pros is a solid baseball simulation. Although not as deep as its Power Pros predecessor, the old-school feel, easy learning curve, challenging gameplay, and cost of entry makes MLB Bobblehead Pros a must-buy for baseball gamers. Well, that's it for this episode of Sports Gamer Show. If you want more content, go to the website at www.sportsgamershow.com. Make sure to like the Facebook page and also follow Sports Gamer Show on Twitter at Sports Gamer Show. I'm RIO PESINO, and we'll see you next time.